Oh,
Okay, this is Darryl Gladstone with Samantha St. speaking about the Four Loko band and her responses to them. Please just state your name and your age.
I'm Samantha St. and I'm 21.
Oh, isn't she adorable, guys? Okay, calm your nerves. Okay, so how do you feel about the Four Loko band in New York City?
I feel like it was too much. I think they should have just taken it out of local convenience stores and put it in liquor stores so that little kids wouldn't have access to them, not just completely ban them. I think, you know, it's it's the government getting into privatized businesses, which is, I thought that was against the Constitution, but yeah, that's me.
Interesting. You bring up the fact of Four Locos being in grocery stores as opposed to liquor stores. Are there other forms of alcohol in the store? Are they? How do you feel about them not banning like beers in grocery stores or
Well, I
other such things?
feel as if, there's everyone knows about Smirnoffs and beers, and no one really knew about Four Locos. And I don't think that counter people really paid attention to it because it looks like Arizona or something. It doesn't really look like a beer can or like a Smirnoff bottle, so they probably didn't really pay attention to it. And they probably didn't even know like the big effect that it had on little kids. But if they knew that, then they should have just moved it to liquor stores. And if it was still a problem against little kids, then they should have banned it from them. But I don't think they should have completely banned it from people that are 21 and have the right to drink it. And now they just took it away from everyone.
Okay. With the banning of Four Locos, of course, some constitutional rights have been impeded, especially on the state level. How do you feel that we should respond to this? Do you think we're moving toward dictatorship, and how should the people respond to such a heavy set law put in place?
Well, I don't drink Four Locos, but for the people that do drink Four Locos, if it's a big issue because what else are they gonna ban? Like Red Bull, because that is like an energy drink minus the alcohol. They're gonna ban like iced teas from convenience store or across the state. So it could it's opening a door to something that can get bigger than this. So yeah, I don't think it's.
Okay, how do you think that, who do you think the target audience is for locals? Like, who do you think buy them the most, and where do they get them from?
As far as I knew, college students bought them the most, but then in the news they were saying a lot of younger kids were buying it. But then, in the media, they always tend to skew their story to sensationalize it to get more views and ratings on it. So who knows who actually, if someone does a study on it, then we would know.
Okay, and uh, considering that news story, do you think that kids really are getting, access to that, and how are they getting access to these Four Locals?
Well, they are sold in convenience stores, and like I said, I mean, I'm pretty sure if a counter person isn't paying attention and there's a long line, he's just gonna ring it up and keep moving. So if they go to the convenience store every day, I mean, there are plenty of times when I was younger, I could have bought a beer without an ID and no one would have known. So yeah.
Okay. A lot of college students are outraged about the whole Four Local ban and say that, they're putting blame on the wrong, you know, companies or the wrong people for this, outbreak of alcoholism in college students. Who do you think is really to blame for alcoholism? Is it the student? Is it the convenience store? Is it manufacturers?
It's the manufacturers. You should find out where you're shipping your stuff. If you know it's an alcoholic beverage, especially alcoholic beverage that kids can get access to so easily, and it can be misconstrued as an energy drink. Put it in a liquor store where they need ID to really buy it. I mean, you need ID anywhere, but it's easier in a convenience store for a kid to get it, especially if it's in a co-full bottle that doesn't really look like a liquor bottle as everything else. So it's on the manufacturers, I think. And then from the manufacturers, it's a convenience store person, whoever's selling it, to make sure that they don't sell alcoholic beverage to children. I mean, that is the law in the United States.
One of the other people I interviewed said that in other European countries that there's a big difference between Americans and how they perceive alcoholism and how Europeans perceive alcoholism. For the most part, Europeans are allowed to drink freely at younger ages, as opposed to American children who are allowed to drink at 21. What do you think the difference is? Like, do you think that affects how, these Four Locos are being sold, or how children have the need to kind of get these Four Locos?
Well, It's shown in other countries that decriminalize things or make things at a younger age so kids can get access to it. If opposed, like we were able to drink at 18, maybe most kids wouldn't buy it because they'll be like, well, I'm 14, I only have 4 years to wait to buy this drink, as opposed to waiting to 21 to buy the drink. If you look at a lot of countries, they have looser laws, and most kids aren't drunk on the street or buying Four Lokos every day. So I think as the United States, we're always ready to push harsher punishments, but then it just increases the risk of underage drinking or anything that's against the law to rise because you're putting such stigma on it that everyone's going to want to try it, want to know what's the big deal about it, when you could just say it's not that it's not a big of a deal, but you don't need to make it such a big deal that it scares people or it makes people even more inclined to try it.
Yeah. And do you think with this harsh government law, we're on a slippery slope to like a big brother type of government, like sort of like dictatorship? Do you think that we're moving more away from a democracy to a dictatorship, or do you think we still have a good chance of remaining within a democracy?
Well, it's always small things that build up into bigger things, so maybe. We don't know. I don't know. We'll see.
Okay. Well, thank you.
Bye.
Film me.
Oh, okay. See you later.
Okay, this has been Douglas. I'm reporting on the Four Local Band with Samantha St. Biology student, SUNY Albany, 21 years old. Thank you.
See ya. Bye.
Creeper.